Hi garden gals and guys, I'm here. It has been a hot second, that's for sure. First off, I hope everyone had happy holidays and things are going well, that you got some rest during the off season. If you're new here, I'm Steph. I'm an avid hobby cut flower gardener, and I garden in 14 raised beds here on my 1 acre property in the Chicago suburbs. I wanted to start this video out by kind of catching you up a little bit and then also giving you a view of what I think is to come for Tiny's Garden in 2025. Let me set the scene for you so you can see kind of what my world is like, especially if you're a newer subscriber. I had twins in June of 2024, so 7 months ago. Super grateful for my angel babies. They're doing wonderful. Everyone is healthy. I was able to keep gardening through the pregnancy, which was great. Okay, let's get cozy, shall we, and talk tulips. Very healthy for me, healthy for the girls. And I also did some things after in the garden, which was wonderful to lift my spirits for cut flower, because most importantly, gardening, and especially cut flowers, is my therapy. Heals my heart. Arguably the best thing I can do for myself is garden. And when I do that, I mean just be in the garden, not thinking about filming, not thinking about YouTube, spending quality time with my family. Don't be mischievous! Or with myself, with my hands in the dirt and growing things, watch it come from a seed to fruition into a bloom. Oh my gosh, I think I've done it. And then into a bouquet that I create. So nourishing for my soul. It is my greatest gift to myself and my therapy. And that's why I love it. And that's why I'm excited and enthusiastic on here, because of all the reasons I just mentioned. Flash forwarding to now, 2 months ago, I needed a break from Tiny's Garden. I decided I had to switch some things up. I work part-time. I don't do YouTube by any means full-time. And I just kind of got to a place where I was like, I need a breather. Thankfully, that break came at the right time because it was after fall. I did get some of my dahlias raised out of the ground, thankfully, but they're probably frozen because they've been in my garage and it's been like 0 degrees for weeks here in Chicago. But I digress. I needed the break for my mental health, and I also needed to kind of clear out my head and envision what is ahead for me in 2025. Because I was not in a great spot mentally. We haven't been sleeping that much. We had a lot of help the first 6 months, especially at night, gratefully, invested in our sanity, and now there's no one else at night to help. And it's a little trickier. When I say a little trickier, I mean it's a lot trickier. All that to say, there was a lot going on in my head. Do I quit my part-time job, but I financially contribute to my family? Do I stop Tiny's Garden? Do I run with a new business idea that I want to start? Etc., etc. Like, you know when you get all these things in your head and they're just kind of swirling in emotion and it almost leaves you in a state of paralysis? I wasn't in a paralysis, but it was a lot of commotion up here. A lot of commotion, which is not good for mental health. All that to say, I've written down and feel much more at peace and much more calm about what 2025 is going to bring. And I wanted to share that with you to set expectations for 2025. And especially for Tiny's Garden, you'll understand as I explain to you what my goals are, but grace over guilt is going to be the phrase for 2025 in Tiny's Garden. Grace over guilt. When I started Tiny's Garden, I think it was 4 years ago now, I really started it with the intent of, I love gardening and wanted to share that, but also I could potentially bring in some money and help support my family this way while doing something I love. My friends, YouTube is not easy. I taught myself pretty much all of the editing. I remember those early days with my first videos, between shooting the video, deciding what to say, even though I usually fly by the seat of my pants, getting the right camera angles, learning how to put it all together, doing any voiceovers that's needed, figuring how to change the speed of certain things, figuring out how to do a thumbnail, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. There's a lot of parts that are working. I easily spent probably 8 hours, if not 9 hours, that first several months just figuring out how to do it. And I'm not complaining, because sometimes that's what you got to do to get a job done and learn, and you work hard, but it's time consuming. Fortunately for me at that moment, I only had one baby at that point, and I was able to put that type of time in. As time went on, we went through a series of personal struggles. I had a couple miscarriages, and then gratefully, we spontaneously got pregnant with my angel babies, my rainbow babies, my twins. And that was actually, we were told, supposed to be our third miscarriage, and we were headed toward IVF, and then it wasn't a miscarriage. There were 2. So, A, I want to thank all of you, because you were especially supportive and understanding during that time. And B, I was obviously inconsistent during that time on this channel because of obvious reasons. Even before that, the Highland Park shooting occurred on July 4th, which is the town over from us. And so I took 2 or 3 weeks off for that. My point being, there has been a lot of moments where there's been gaps, big gaps, and YouTube doesn't like gaps in posting your content. YouTube likes you to be very regular. So it has been difficult for me to really grow on this channel as much as I would want to support my family. Now, I have grown with all of you that have watched me regularly, and I love the relationships and the community that we have here. That's A+. I love that. There's not a lot of negative Nancys, and I'm all about that. And you regulars, you know who you are, and I appreciate you. But as far as building subscriber count and bringing in money, this is not what this channel is about. However, it's not going to be a cash machine for me, and I am more okay with that than I've ever been. I have started another business, Tiny Finds Treasures, because I also do love to thrift and rehome vintage items, and I started a YouTube channel on that about 4 months ago, and it has taken off. When I say at least 5 times as quick as Tiny's Garden, it's at least 5 times as quick. I think it took me 2 years to get monetized on Tiny's Garden, and it has taken me 3 months on Tiny Finds Treasures. Now that's because of a lot of different things. I went through a lot of the hurdles of learning everything on this channel, so I'm always going to be grateful for it. But that is what I am trying to really grow in order to make money, bring money in, but still find a lot of joy in what I'm doing. It's a business. That's what I want to be, my business that will help my family on top of my part-time job that I actually went to school for. I'm an exercise physiologist, so I do personal training with people a couple times a week, and that's in the city of Chicago. So that takes a fair amount of time up. Those are my businesses. Tiny's Garden is my love language, if that makes sense. So all that to say, where my head is at and where it needs to be for me to have a healthy mental 2025, which I think everyone can appreciate. These are my goals for Tiny's Garden. I don't know if this is like a purging of essentially a diary of my thoughts, but I appreciate all of you who are here. There's almost 5,000 people here, which I love. And I want to be transparent about what to expect. I'm just not going to be able to do 3 videos a week or consistently post. So, this is where I get nervous, because I do want to deliver for all of you, because you do mean something to me, but I can't do that while feeling like it's such a chore and such a job and not be happy about it or present for my kids. I think we got a little sidetracked from the flower harvest, but we're making memories. It's fine. When they're in the garden, which I want to teach them to be in the dirt, to love growing, to be thankful that we have the opportunity to grow something from a little seed. Ready? That's called giggles.
Giggles?
Giggles.
What's that?
That one is called, I'm blanking, Mom's blanking. Sierra Glow is this one.
What's that?
That's a bud, which means it's about to burst open. Can you say bud? No. Grace over guilt, and also for myself, grace over guilt that I'm not going to be able to deliver a million videos this year. However, let's get into my actual goals. I'll read verbatim because I did a lot of soul searching in writing this. But it helped. It helped. I feel great. Keep the focus of my garden to be my most beloved hobby and therapy while exposing my kids, especially my twins, to the garden for the first time without feeling like I must film for YouTube, preventing me from being absolutely present with my kids in the garden. Oh, and look at this little buddy. Are you a bud too? No.
What's that?
Those are shears. We don't play with shears. Mama bear. That's number one. Number two, post at least 2 videos per month that work for me, my family, and my schedule, while intently sharing my love of gardening and growing cut flowers to encourage others to grow their own flowers as a gift to oneself. And especially number 2 for all of you is what I want Tiny's Garden to be about. When you're growing things, and I know some of you are probably doing this as flower farmers for a business, so that is a business, it's a little different, but I'm sure there's a spark in you that you really love it, so you're still growing it for personal reasons as well. I want you to think of gardening as a gift to yourself because it really is for so many people. And a lot of people out there are probably thinking, do I try and do a flower farm stand, or do I try to turn this into the business? Believe me, I've been there. I have been there, I have thought through all those things, and I think that's all okay if you go for them. For me, I'm the person who has to be 100% in, and I really need to feel successful in what I'm doing. There were a couple reasons I'm not comfortable with trying to go full force into a flower farming business. Number one, I don't want to lose my safe haven of growing cut flowers for me. I don't want to lose that to stress. I don't want to lose that to pressure. I don't want to lose that to YouTube. I don't want to lose that to having people come to my house. I don't want that. I want to grow cut flowers because after my son was born, I had postpartum pretty badly. And I went, again, 100% into growing cut flowers as a hobby, and I felt so much better. It's tough to put into words how it makes me feel and how it just revitalizes my soul. That is what I want for myself, and that is what I want for you. You don't have to be a huge gardener. You might not even grow anything at all. You might just enjoy watching videos of gardening because it helps you relax. That's just fine too. That can be a gift to yourself. You might be the one with your hands in the dirt, getting ready to grow for the first time and see how it makes you feel. I want you to do that as a gift to yourself. You might be the one who has slowly gotten into the world of cut flowers. You've grown and now you're ready to take an adventure and sell your flowers. A, kudos for you. I'm always backing you, always supporting you and cheering you on. And B, that can be your gift to yourself. But remember, grace over guilt. I don't want anyone to feel guilty about any quote unquote shortcomings, including myself, including my YouTube channel, in the garden, because it's a way we love ourselves. I feel like I'm really diving in deep with this one. I'm not sure that was my whole intention. However, I wanted to be 100% authentic with where I'm at and where my channel is headed this year, and also with all of you, because I started feeling guilt over grace. A lot of guilt over grace about, I didn't get a video done this week, I don't feel like doing a video and I feel guilty about it. Or I have to do a video, but really I want to spend some time with my family. All these things and thoughts that can get over it. It was too much. It was too much. So here we are having this therapy sesh. That is what Tiny's Garden is going to look like this year. And I hope you understand. If you take anything away from this, I hope you also consider giving yourself a lot of grace over guilt this year. No matter where you are, no matter what your relationship to the garden or growing cut flowers is, grace over guilt. Promise? Pinky promise? Thank you. And that's my expectations for Tiny's Garden in 2025. Quick shout out to all of you who have subscribed. I appreciate you. I appreciate your subscription. You are still so important for me. I really, really want to make that clear. I don't want you to think I don't care about this channel. That's not it. I just have to reframe my mind with my relationship to the garden because I need it. To be honest, I need it. It's too easy to go down a hole and then I'm not present for my kids and I'm not present for myself and I'm not present for my love of growing cut flowers, which defeats the purpose. So a little reformation this year. Little reformation. We are going to get to tulips and how I actually did get my tulips in the ground this year. Yay. But I would really appreciate if all of you would comment in the comments below on how you are giving yourself grace over guilt this year in the garden, because I think it really is that important. Now, if you're not a commenter, that's okay. If you don't want to comment, that's okay, you don't. But at least in your mind, or write down on a piece of paper where you can see it, how are you giving yourself grace over guilt this year in the garden? Because nothing should steal that joy that the garden brings you. And if it is, let's just reframe our minds. So thank you for listening to all that. Moving on to tulips, you are going to see how I finally got my tulips in the ground. It only took however many months, maybe 4, but they're in, and it's okay. So this video starts out with one day where my husband and I are trying to go get supplies and get these tulips into the ground, and then it picks up a week or 2 later. This happens over the course of several months. So like I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening in our household. Mom of 3, and we're figuring this whole new life out, which I'm super grateful for. And again, I don't feel bad about. So you'll see the whole winding picture ending with eventually today, where I show you how they are in the ground. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoy this video. I appreciate you. I am looking forward to seeing how you do this year in your garden or hearing about it. And I hope that you have very happy planting this whole year long. I will see you in seed starting when I start my Lysianthus, which will be any day this week. Hi garden gals and guys, long time no see. It's Steph with Tiny's Garden, and it's been a while because I have done nothing in the garden. Today, my hubby's with me, and we are going to take time to get all of the tulips in the garden. I actually don't even think I'm going to have any in the front this year because we just haven't gotten around to it. With the twins and life, etc., it happens. So we're on our way to get some compost right now, so I'm just going to bring you along for the big tulip planting event today. We've called several places, and Chalet has what I'm looking for, cotton compost, 2 cubic feet. Getting 10 bags of that. Walking back to the car, I saw this huge planter, absolutely massive planter, is 70% off of $229. $68.70 for that massive planter in my favorite color. Yeah, getting that. We're all loaded up, bags of compost, big old planter. This is your yearly reminder to check your local garden centers this time of year because their very big, expensive pots are probably hugely discounted. This is the best time of the year to get them. We are home. I want to show you what I am planting. Little Ducky Signature Mix. This is a flower farm that is near my area, about 45 minutes away. So I ordered from them to help support local growers. Then I have a bunch from Color Blends. I don't even remember what I ordered. I'll have to look at my packing list. And then I have some in here that are from the Flower Hat. These are ranunculus and anemones, and so I think I'm gonna hold off on these and plant these in the spring. But tulips we're getting in today. Oh my goodness, look how cute my hubby looks. I got the all everything tulip mix because that's pretty much all they had left at the time that I ordered from Color Blends. Oh boy. We got a little bit of mold. That one's probably okay because it's firm when I touch it, like there. But when we press into it, it's not just disintegrating in our hand. So that's probably okay, especially since there's some new growth coming from the inside. But ideally it looks more like this, really intact with some little growth coming up. That's a good bulb right there. But overall, besides this one is not gonna do anything. Yuck, we press it, it'll pretty much just break. But overall, we're looking pretty healthy for waiting till December 17th. Now I'm actually inside because our son is sleeping and I don't want him to be alone if he wakes up. But AJ's doing a great job. We're just doing the packing them like they're eggs in a carton. And it looks like he's got his own system here, coming in and putting compost over them after he plants them. So looking good. Thank you, honey. If you're looking for a good compost, this cotton burr compost is probably my favorite I've ever used. I've used it before and it's really nice and rich and crumbly. Some of the compost we've gotten from a bulk supplier has had glass in it, and I don't really want glass in my compost, especially since my kids play in the dirt. So it's more expensive, but it was less expensive than the Purple Cow compost. This was $16.99 a bag for 2 cubic feet. So I'll take it. I'll take it. We just pull our irrigation back while we plant the beds. And then once everything is planted, we'll simply lay this back over the top and then use these staples here, right there, landscape staples, to put them in place. It's January 17th, my birthday. And just when I thought I had to do crates for my tulips, God gives me a 50-degree day. Tulips are going in the raised beds in the ground. And here's my Bubba helping me and my dog. Ready to do some digging?
Yeah.
The ground is actually still frozen, but I just cleared off the snow and I'll plant along this strip like eggs in a carton. My sweet husband did part of these beds, but he did it in a way that was like a row of tulips, then a blank space of dirt, then a row of tulips. Really, you should just pack them in literally back to back to back. So I'm gonna get to work, plant all of those, and then come in with cotton burr compost on top to cover them up. Okay, all these are planted in like eggs in a carton. That's what I want, but all my dirt is frozen. So I'm gonna run very quickly to get dirt before my sitter leaves. And then we'll cover these guys up. And I've got one box to go. All right, it's the next night. My husband put more cotton burr compost. I went and got some, put it in front of our fireplace, and unfroze it as much as we could. Obviously, a lot of it is still frozen, but those tulips are covered. And now I'm gonna use these crates. This nice big one is what is left over from Color Blends, and these are the ones I showed you the other day. We'll see if I can get the rest of them planted in here, and I'll put them on top of a raised bed. So it looks like I just have 150 more tulips to plant. I have the best red from Color Blends and Beauty Trend. So let's just knock these out and see how they do in crates. The good news is these bulbs look really healthy with either new growth or no mold. So that's a big win for me. And all of them in this whole packet and these whole packets. All right, we are all set in here with these bulbs. I think there's about 110 in the big one, and this is all I had left. So I'll just grow these in this one, but now we're gonna try and get some compost on top of these and set them just right on top of a raised bed that is not planted. Here's the finished product amongst the leftovers of cut flowers from last year, which I have not pulled out. But I'm grateful these are here. It's really gonna be a test run to see how they do. And then of course these, which I showed you earlier in the video, are in here as well. So at least they have not gone to waste. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, Please subscribe to follow along with all things garden. Again, happy planting. Bye.